Hello everyone, I'll be demonstrating a new tool by Next.js. It's called V0. It's pretty cool. I use it for prototyping at times, and so far it's been working really well. 75%, 70% of the time it gets the UI, somewhere close, but 25% of the time it hallucinates really bad. It's not, but I found a trick to kind of optimize that. And it requires a lot of prompts, but it'll get you there. So something that I've been obsessed with really recently is the parallel routes. If you take a look at this image, these visuals are really cool. I wanted the sidebar and the browser window because I wanted to create a lesson where I could animate these right between multiple UIs, showing the sidebar in one screen, and as soon as I press the arrow, it's going to animate, show these different kind of backgrounds that it has, so indicating what's going on within the lesson. This is I'm inspired from this developer. She works at Vorcel and creates crazy good animations using Remotion. That's a tool that I'm going to talk about in some other video as well. So let's go to so how I was able to create this. This is one of the things that I've learned is if you start breaking down your components and keep things simple from the very first prompt, you're going to get better results. Otherwise, it's going to hallucinate, as I mentioned, or you'll have to do a lot of prompting, fixing a lot of things at the same time. For example, if you were to provide this image, it would have created a bad version of both of these, the editor and the sidebar, and you would end up fixing both of the components in a single prompt. Each and every time you'd make a change, right? Sometimes it would mess the other one, right? And that's not great. So what I did was, fortunately, there was a simplified version. So I went with this prompt, uploaded the image, don't build this as a sidebar, just the UI with Tailwind. Very simple prompt, nothing crazy. So what it does is basically spits out some Tailwind and a markup, right? And we see it's not really good, but and it's also been, the white background is hurting my eyes. So great, now make these nested and have the space between blue badge and use ping animation for the badge and have some gradient on the sidebar. Now I'm using specific terms here to kind of guide it through how I want the UI to look, right? So if I go here and open the preview, it has added this caret animation or caret and this ping animation, nothing more than that, right? But we're getting there, right? So yeah, apart from the caret, I don't see any other addition. And then there's ping animation. So it's going to walk you through all the steps that it's gone through. I'm not going to go into the detail. I'm re-uploading the image just in case it has forgotten, right? Although it shouldn't have, it doesn't, but I don't know why I did that. So I want to create this grid that it has, that this particular sidebar has. It looks super cool, super sick. And exiting out of this image is very hard. I had to click thrice. All right, sharing the image again. Can you use the grid background created using BG property? Now, I could have said that, can you use an image, or I'm providing you this image and use this, but instead I know how to create this using CSS, and that's very important. If you know your tools, it's going to be really easy for AI to kind of make those decisions for you. If you mention that in the prompt and have it in pure black, it's in the design. You're closed now, right? So what it does is, there you go. Our nesting, our folder nesting, or the folder structure is still messed up. I'm not touching that. I'm just going bit by bit, right? So it's really easier for AI to follow all these things, or V0 in this case, right? It seems like it still hasn't fixed it because it doesn't know, right, how to get the folder structure up. Maybe it doesn't know. Sometimes it gets the visuals right. Sometimes it gets the nesting right. Everything will be perfect, but at times it will miss out on things, right? So what I had to do was I copied this image into Claude, and then it spit it out the ASCII structure, because I asked it specifically to give back the ASCII structure for the image that I'm sharing, right? So it came up with this, and if I go to the V5, you see it has fixed the directory structure over here, and the ping animation looks a lot better now, right? I should be able to minimize it. Now, notice that initially I asked V0 to explicitly create the UI only, right? So it created the UI because I did not want it to focus V0 on two things at a time. So otherwise it's gonna hallucinate. Now I'm asking it to add interactivity, and adding interactivity would be very easy because it doesn't have to recreate the folder structure now, right? So I go back here, there is some, it's using some use state and a handler. And if you notice that in the code, you'll find as like, the folders are open or are they closed. It's still hard coded, right? Most of this is still hard coded. It's not using a loop or anything. It's not looping through the items, but you get the idea. I might have deleted some of these prompts while forking this. So there is this fork feature, and I wanted to kind of keep track of the state. It's Next.js, sorry, V0 is not really good at keeping track of the version, and I really get lost. That's on me. Maybe it's not on them. So I did not like the grid that they had. I fine-tuned that in one of the other prompts, but it wasn't a prompt. You can just go here and change it manually as well. So I can go back and use 24 pixels. I think it's still gonna work. Yeah, it's you might notice this is a very light gradient because I also tweaked the color to used some opacity with hex. But yeah, and you cannot do Control Z over here. And this is the V1 version. And then can we have an editor next to it, but an active, rather a mock, right? Share the sample code as well. Keep the sidebar as in fact create a component out of it, right? So what it's doing is I think it's cramming each and everything into this particular what I call single component. If I go in here, okay, I was in V3. So yeah, this was the sidebar, and I do have that prompt. So I asked it to kind of create. Yeah, that's what it came up with, right? This is just a single prompt, and was able to create that all of that. Notice how I'm resharing the image so that it's not getting lost. And I copied another one of those images from Next.js. So if you notice, it still captures the gist of it. The acme.com, the minimize and maximize icons. It's amazing, right? I don't know why I have to click multiple times to just get out of this image, right? By the way, this is like, this is spot on. Know what I'm asking AI? This might be slightly challenging. Again, don't change what you have. It's perfect. You need to show the bits that added nothing crazy like right now. But I just wanted to highlight the blue bar and but now you have to show the sidebar. I basically what I'm asking is that you need to add these purple indicators as well alongside this blue ones as well, right? So yeah, and again, don't remove anything. On the left we had just single blue mark, make it two but so like kind of insisting here. One is blue and the other one is purple block. Let's see what it does. Just take a look at this. So yeah, the prompt might not have made sense to the humans, but AI is able to make a very good sense out of it, right? Notice how error loading content is created as a separate block. Basically, I wanted one of these to result in error after some time, but that's not what I'm going to do in this prompt because I think I have to fix the routes as well. So brilliant. Can you now create a sidebar? Notice how I specifically asked it not to create a sidebar, but now I'm asking it to create a sidebar. Because if I had done from the very start, it would have hallucinated, right? So this is something I've learned over the time. And sharing load, don't tamper with the design at all, just the business logic. And there's the folder structure that I'm giving it, right? And that's how it looks, right? There's a file, there's a directory, because that's something I'm going to play with. And now if I open this, you see, all of it is back. All of it is back. There is an error state, loading for this purple. Now I wanted to highlight the page, but that's not something I'm going to cover in this prompt, I guess. Okay. Can we have an alphabetical indicators like we have in the reference image? I think I'm talking about these ones, right? A, B, and then this is indicating AB. So we can like kind of correlate. These are the alphabetical ones, so don't get confused by the prompt. So I'm going to open this and see. So it has created these AB, right? This A is not linked with the purple one, right? This is wrong, but it has added the indicators. Now it looks like the indicator could, okay, this is a mistake. It could use some border and background like the way we have with the blue and purple red elements. Sure, yeah. So it's BB and it's still messed up, right? It's still messed up. I fix this in one of the, I'm going to fix this in one of the prompts, but I don't know if there is something. Yeah, I deleted those prompts, but yeah, it's working. Explorer and Resource. Let's show an error state after 1 second within the component, not the parent, within the component only, right? So what I'm asking is to kind of, let's see what it does. So after 1 second, it starts, there's a loading and then it spits out the error component, right? So no, I meant not a separate component, but within blue or purple because it is spitting out as a separate component. Now I'm getting there, right? And now if I head over to V3, see how it changes that. And that's like the beauty of breaking your prompts one by one. So if I had done it from the very start, it would have been really difficult, right? So let's indicate the page .tsx because we've been using loading.tsx from the start and I did not tamper with it, but now I want this to get that right and not the loading component. So let's see what it does. If I open this, these are green, and after some time it changes to, now it has messed up my colors again. I'm not gonna go and fix that, but it's messed up my colors. It should have been like blue and purple, and then I could have used the error state for that. So would it be possible to have more than just a success state? It's like information and loading when the component is loading. there's a big prompt, but basically what I want is like to have multiple states and going on at the same time. The easiest way to achieve that would be we can use different ID. So I'm giving it the idea on how we can like achieve that. So each and every item in the directory or the structure is has an ID, and I can basically trigger that or change the state based on that. Let's see what it does. So we have the colors, and now it's spitting. It has added multiple states. That's something I wasn't looking. I was looking for. C and D are different components. I want to highlight the error state within C after loading, and no page information would be rendered for now. Right. And voila. This is great, right? And you see it had the loading component going on, and then there is an error state. But in this case, it's page TSX. And I think I'm gonna wrap this up. It's been a really long video this time. So yeah, I hope you learned something. I'm gonna keep posting more of these prototypes. Thank you so much.